Now this heat 3, is probably one of the strangest races I've ever had in my life. So I'll take you through it one step at a time. So this time I'm lining up in third place because I've had a fourth and a third. So on points that makes me third. And I'm up behind Darren here, not much closer I can get here. And then all of a sudden, Lee comes in, whacks me, and I end up sliding into the middle of the road. And I'm thinking, oh man, that was quick. I don't really quite know what happened there. And in the background you can see Dylan's also beached it, so I don't know how that happened. And it took ages for my engine to get started again, so finally get going, but I'm well and truly last. And I'm incredibly lucky that nobody hit me actually, because... Anyway, here's the replay. So you can see that I just get pushed out to the side, and on the on-cart you can see what happens is Lee loses it and he whacks my front wheel, and that just instantly sent me into a spin. Didn't even have time to react, and I've just got the brakes on and it's just sliding backwards on the grass. Fortunately, I was going slow enough that people could see me, and there was a whole bunch of other collisions that happened, so that was just a crazy incident. Not necessarily Lee's fault. I think he just lost traction. I don't think he realised what he did. I didn't talk to him afterwards, but it would have been nice if he had apologised, but I don't think he really realised actually what happened to me. So just goes to show you that anything can happen in racing. Anyway, here I am at the back and just trying to get back on the back of the pack. And we've got this new camera position with our new zoom lens on the straight, so it's a really, really nice picture, and you can see just how far back I am. Unfortunately, I couldn't see the number, but he's running a non-Evo Rotax. So, yeah, unfortunately that engine, I used to have one, the non-Evo Rotax is just obsolete these days. So, as you can see with his racing, it's very difficult for them to get the sort of power that they need to be competitive with these karts. Anyway, so now I'm on to the next person, seeing who it is. And you can see there Darren's taking off, and he's got Peter Gigas in second. There's Lee Holmes, Steve Lowison, Andrew Draffin, and then it's Campbell McMillan and Alan Roberts, John Pringle, Wayne Crump, Reno Pisanelli, and Russell Sheehan, and then me. Okay, so I've got the whole field in front of me, so just trying to figure out how I'm going to actually catch people. Oh, really struggling to get on the power there. This has now become a bit of a test day. So it looks like Russell's getting through. Reno is ahead of us now, so obviously it must be his first race. And I think he's also got the non-Evo. Yeah, so he's also got a non-Evo, and I was very fortunate there. He let me through. The front two getting away. You can see it's all pretty close. I don't know what's up with Alan Roberts this weekend, but I think he's had some technical issues. He's normally at the front. So there I am, just closing in on Russell. So I think we have a little bit of a battle here. Yeah, there's really nowhere to go on this corner, but oh, look at that, straight down the inside. And again, he was very, very kind to me there. So it's always good when people have good driving etiquette. You can see there Peter's not too far away from Darren, but you're not able to quite get there. The next three, Alan, and then Campbell, John, Wayne, and then myself. So I'm coming up behind Wayne. And I don't know Wayne very much. It's actually really interesting. We had a little chat in the bathroom just before the race, like literally half an hour or 20 minutes just before the race. Never really spoke to the guy before, even though we've been racing against each other for maybe a year and a half. Seems like a really nice guy, but what happens soon is something I find very hard to, understand, because it's pretty crazy. So anyway, we'll see what happens as we go further. So we've got those guys at the front. Alan's definitely got some issues this race because he's normally up the front. Okay, and there I am closing in a little bit on Wayne Crump. Also, I've noticed I've got my radiator flapped down in this race, so it's a little bit... It's not affecting performance much, but I think once it starts to heat up a little bit, it does lose a little bit of the edge of the engine, the power of the engine. So I've got to remember to keep pulling it up when the engine gets a little bit hot. But at this stage, I kind of forgot about it. Just trying to focus on how to deal with this race. You can see that Darren's getting further and further ahead. He's really flying today. And I'm just inching up on these guys really, really slowly. And also I think John has a little issue this weekend because he seems to be a bit slower than he normally is. Maybe he's got a setup problem or something. So it's John and then Wayne Crump just behind him and then me. And you can see Lee Holmes is getting pressurised by Steve Lewison there. And we're just catching up on these guys bit by bit. Here we go. So here it is. So I go for a pass. And he just decides to turn in on me. I know I probably wasn't quite as close as I would have liked to have been, but let's have a look at the replay. I feel like I'm close enough, even though it's my front wheel is aligned with his rear wheel. In this corner, you've got so much speed, you have to give some space. You can see he's lost control a bit there, and he just proceeds to turn in. And on this angle, you can see I can't get much closer than I am. The Rotax, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit of a deficit, I don't know. But anyway, I'm just here, just on his rear wheel, and he does, as he brakes, he does get a little bit further ahead, but regardless, he kind of loses it. I can't go anywhere. I have to kind of be where I am because I can't brake any more than I was. Anyway, look at what happens here. In the next corner, bang. He decides that he's going to just bash me out of the race, which I just don't understand why anyone could be so silly as to just intentionally knock them out of the race. I understand the first corner was probably borderline. I could have been a little bit closer. And then I try to pass him again, and he decides to take me off again. And that wasn't even, we weren't even in the corner yet. This was before the corner, and he just decided to ram me off. I could have pulled out if I could see he was going faster, but you have to leave some space. So, yeah, very, very strange race. We had a bit of a shouting match in the pits afterwards. And of course, it's always going to be a bit of a he said, she said sort of thing. So anyway, the stewards really didn't want to take any action unless we were to pay money to the officials to then put an investigation in. I obviously had the video footage, and I'm not even annoyed about the first incident. I think going down the straight, that was just a racing incident. He could have given me a little bit more space. I should have been probably a little bit further alongside. I am a little bit tentative into that corner, I think, sometimes, and it kind of means that yeah, it's really hard to kind of have that confidence to really break deep. But anyway, that was a bit of a racing incident, but I just feel like to ram someone at the next corner is not really acceptable behaviour.